Colby, do you know what I have a hankering for that I want to order?
No, what's that?
A love burger. It's such an obscure thing. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
And this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Music.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new month of the Who Watches This. You know, you're like when you have multiple programs, it all starts to blend in, right? Oh man, this month is a sort of. It's gonna be a weird month because of how we're starting the month out.
Yes. Yeah. We came up with a theme.
And it is Obsession Month.
Yeah.
Now, depending on how old you are, we all have sort of those movies that are highlighted as the obsession movie for maybe like your early 20s or whatever like that. Like I think for Colby, it was Single White Female or Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction's one that pops in my head.
Right. For me, it was Fear.
Okay.
With, you know, a very young Mark Wahlberg and
Yeah.
oh God, what's her name? It's not Kristen Dunst. It's the other blonde chick from Sweet Home Alabama, Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you know, young Reese Witherspoon. For teenagers in the 2000s, it was Swim Fan.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I think for the 2010s, it's not a movie; it's a show called You. But you know, not all obsession movies have to be so dark in tone.
Right. Yeah, they don't have to end up with somebody going to prison or the morgue.
Murder, yeah, or someone being a serial killer. No, this month we're starting this month a little bit lighter.
Yes.
We're starting the movie with 1998's Can't Hardly Wait.
Right. And that's not good English. Can hardly wait, yes. Can't hardly wait. It feels wrong.
Well, this is why the British still make fun of us. Yeah. You know, pretty much all American like English is just slang to them.
That is true. And if I am wrong, please feel free to smash me in the comments.
Right. No, but you're gonna ask yourselves, well, Barry, how is this an obsession movie? Right?
Right. But this is really watching this. This is like the ultimate obsession movie.
Well, as adults now, like me in my 30s, Colby in an undisclosed age group.
I'll say my age starts with a 4.
You start to see what you were blind to as a teenager.
Yes.
Right? Because the tropes in this movie, it's nothing new. There's nothing different, nothing groundbreaking from separating this as a teenage comedy.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure you had a movie like this when you were growing up in high school. It was maybe, I don't know if it was like
I kept thinking back to like Animal House.
Yeah, Animal House. You could even throw in Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds. Oh yeah.
Anything by Howard Hughes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Revenge of the Nerds probably my generation's version of this movie.
Oh, I love that movie though. I think I watched it like when I was like 7, and I was like, this movie is hilarious. Look at these nerdy guys taking back what's theirs.
I feel like Revenge of the Nerds was the first movie that like I rented on VHS and then illegally copied onto my own copy of a VHS so that I could watch it multiple times.
Yeah, just for that pie scene. You're like, boobs. But like one of the things that made me think, okay, all these teenage type of movies that are like this is there's slight undertones of obsessive behavior. Right? Because we always have a main character who the movie directors or the screenwriters want us to identify with, because let's be honest, there's more normal dudes out there than Chads. Right? There's only one captain of the football team.
That is true. And there is a whole fleet of nerds. No, it was not nerds. Socially awkward.
Yeah.
Adolescents.
Yeah, or like average, just average guys, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And they want us to identify with this guy who obviously has, who doesn't have a crush on the prettiest girl in school,
Right. Right.
right? But a lot of these main characters tend to show very alarming behavior, right? Because he's like, oh yeah, I remember the first time I met her, how she smelled, what she wore, what her class schedule was like, so I could
Yeah.
at least see her in the hallways. And it normalized this behavior.
Right, because everybody had that like crush, and it was almost like you were safe because they always had a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever, and you were like, oh, if she broke up with him, I would show her what love really was. But I can't do anything because he's bigger than me and he's cooler than me. He's on the football team. He's got a friend. Oh.
And then one of his friends is probably in love with her anyway.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But when the opportunity arises, most of us will just like, oh well, now we'll talk ourselves out of it, right?
Right.
But then there's those individuals, those Joes from those swim fans that are like, this is my time to wiggle my way into their lives and fuck it up.
right. Or I'm like, you go extreme enough that, all of a sudden you're like, well, maybe if I can cause her boyfriend to have a car accident, then she'll be free, and then I can show her that I am awesome, and of course she'll be in love with me because...
Right. But this movie doesn't ever take any of those things. Really, this movie is just a very, very toned down version of that. Maybe to the point where it's it's not bad behavior. I think everyone has a little obsession to them.
Right.
But maybe this is just a example of how to go after your obsession, or quote the thing that you're obsessed about, or the person you're obsessed about, and then accepting the fact when they say like no. Which I think everyone should be respecting, right? People should respect no.
Right. Yes. And no is much more respected now than it was back then, but it should have always been respected.
Right. But the movie that we're starting off with, it is almost like it's not an all-star cast the time that it was filmed.
But it through the years has become an all-star cast.
Right. And I'm not saying this is jam-packed with like Brad Pitts and Matt Damons or anything like that, but Jennifer Love Hewitt I think is like the biggest name out of this.
Right.
Right, because the main character, I know he had a couple TV shows, he was in a couple movies. Seth Green, actually no, it's Seth Green.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Seth Green is just widely more successful, I think. Oh man, but yeah, so we started the movie with Graduation, which man, I forgot that not in Vegas we have our graduations inside a dome, like a huge auditorium.
Yes,
but
because you don't want 1,000 people sitting out in the sun in beginning of June. That's just going to be a stinky, sweaty mess.
And there's a lot of wild things happening in this graduation ceremony. There's one girl who just has a bikini underneath, which they didn't allow, because I remember when I graduated, everybody had to go through a gown check.
Yes,
to make sure no one was naked.
Yep, I remember that as well.
Did that happen to you during your graduation?
It did.
Oh. So you're the reason.
Yep.
But one of our characters finds out that Amanda, the most popular and the prettiest girl in school, is now single.
Yes.
And so Preston is our main character. He takes this as the chance to finally reveal his love for this girl that he's barely had an interaction with.
Right. It even goes back to like a little flashback origin story about the the first day of freshman year, and it's the first time he's ever missed the bus, and it just happens that he shows up to school late and she's getting there late because it's her first day in this new school, and then like they make eye contact, and then she happens to sit next to him in the same first period class. So
and has the same breakfast pastry.
and has the same Pop-Tart flavor. So this is written in the stars. It's meant to be.
Right, yeah, this is fate. This is kismet.
Yeah.
This is their meet cute. But unfortunately, he was too slow on the draw because the captain, the would-be captain of the football team by his senior year is like, oh, I'll show her around.
Yeah, because the teacher's like, who wants to show her around the school?
Yeah,
and he fumble pauses and football player swoops in, steals the girl.
Well, there's too much Pop-Tart in his mouth.
That's yeah.
He's having that Pop-Tart cold, so you know it's dry. It's like extra dry.
I like Pop-Tarts cold better than warm.
Yeah. It depends. Like if I'm home, like I'm like feeling a little fancy, I'll have a warm Pop-Tart. But if you're on the go, there's just no time.
Yeah.
A cold Pop-Tart just becomes a snack when it's cold.
Oh, Pop-Tarts always just a snack. I'm like, I'm gonna eat this Pop-Tart while I wait for my eggs to cook.
I remember I grew up in an Asian household, so Pop-Tarts weren't like a normal thing. And so when I was like old enough when I would go to my friends' houses, I'll be like, oh man, you guys have Pop-Tarts? I've only seen those in commercials. Ooh. And I was like, oh, this is just pure sugar and bread.
Yeah, because if you got a Pop-Tart that wasn't frosted, that like one weird flavor that's not frosted, that's disgusting.
That's just cardboard.
Yeah.
No, but a lot of people are also interested in going to this party. We have Seth Green, who is a white, well, obviously he's a white character, but he is, I guess now you would call it appropriating black culture.
Yes.
He is acting like he's from a neighborhood that he's not from because he is actually super rich, according to his ex-best friend Denise, who is the Daria of this. And if you guys don't know who Daria is, she's a MTV cartoon where she was very rebellious. She was very against the grain.
Right.
And this is exactly who she is. And this is actually Denise is best friends with Preston.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. We have Mike, who is the captain of the football team. He dumps Amanda, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt, and he's like, bro, I'm going to college, and we're going to get so much college tang that I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah, because college, there's not girls, there's women. And those women just put out all the time.
And he's trying to convince all of his other friends, like, you guys should dump your girlfriends so we could just party all summer and get so much tang.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm calling it tang this episode.
Because tang is a delicious orange-flavored breakfast drink.
It's astronaut soda.
Power. Yeah.
And then we have William. He was the valedictorian. He was president of every academic club in the school. When you go through his his high school photo,
yep.
And he is making a plan with his other friends to jump Mike because he has been tormented by Mike all throughout his academic year, tenure in that town.
Yeah, and he throws a couple examples in there with like putting a pudding cup on his seat so it looks like he
shit himself.
Poo-pooed his pants.
Yeah, he threw out his model rainforest.
Oh yeah,
from
his
3-story building.
Yep. Yeah, but it's a science fair project.
Yeah, and so all of these people are all culminating to the senior party.
Yeah.
Right, and it's supposed to be a rager. But it's hosted by a girl who's like, no, guys, keep everything clean. Yeah.
It's one of those parties where like it seemed like this is a big party because I have all my friends coming, and then it just kind of leaks out, and all their friends tell all their friends, and then pretty soon the entire class, the entire grade is like.
That only happens if you're like medium popular. Like if you're a little bit on the outskirts, no one's gonna want to come to your house.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No one wants to come to the house when your grandparents are home because you were raised by your grandparents. That's for some reason another trope in other teenage movies. Like people are are raised by their grandparents. But no, so everyone is culminating to or is gathering to this one girl's house, and obviously there's going to be a whole bunch of shenanigans. But the one that we're going to focus on is Amanda and Preston.
Right.
Now, Preston wants to go to this party, but Denise is like, I can't believe you made changes to our plans. We're supposed to hang out because you're leaving for Boston tomorrow.
Yep.
For a workshop that's going to get geared towards his career.
Right.
That he's going to college for, right?
Yeah.
But Preston is like, no, this is my only chance with Amanda because she's finally single, which I get. There's girls that everyone has had a crush on, or guys that every girl has had a crush on. That is a monogamous relationship haver or whatever.
Right. Right. Yep.
Even How I Met Your Mother had an episode where there's like the window is open, where like the girl of every guy's dreams is like always in a relationship, and then there's maybe an hour to a day window until they're in the next relationship, right? And so Preston wants to go to the party to give her this letter that he's always had.
Yeah, so apparently he wrote a letter when he first fell in love with her, like way back in freshman year, and he's revised it throughout the years, and his friend even makes fun of him, like, you don't even know what that letter says anymore because you revised it so many times. And he's like, it's okay because I'm giving it to her.
Listen, if you've had enough time to revise a letter multiple times, I think you have an issue.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, giving a letter without revision is scary, but it's just like you got to write down your feelings at that moment and just give it.
Yeah.
Nothing is ever perfect. So for anyone listening out there, nothing is ever going to be perfect. Just shoot your shot.
Right? Yeah.
But throughout the whole movie, he's really having a hard time. It's just bad timing. The whole movie, right?
Right, because he keeps trying to find her. Basically, keeps trying to find her alone so he could sit down, talk to her, give her this letter.
Yeah.
Let her know, that how he feels.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to do at a party, though, especially when it's like the most popular girl in school.
Yeah, right.
Right? But he's trying to find his moments. Now, when Amanda comes in, we get the stereotypical classic slow walk. The slow-mo walk into the party with maybe a fan going on.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know why this is such a huge deal, like this relationship status. I mean, I guess like when I was in high school, I'd be like, oh man, they broke up finally. Like, if someone's been together for 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a very, like the focal point of a lot of people's conversations that we hear.
Right, because she was prom queen. He was the king of the prom king, the captain of the football team, most popular couple. So like that's big news when something like that happens.
Oh yeah.
And so then you get all the guys who are a little jealous or like, well, yeah, she dumped him because he's blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And the girls are all like, oh yeah, he dumped her because she's a whore or whatever.
She was a slut.
Yes, girls are worse than guys.
Oh yeah, I mean. And so, but even the girls who you think are her friends are just like, ugh, can you believe she thinks she's just so pretty? Like she thinks she's prettier than Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes, that's right. Because they try to compare it to the Gwyneth Paltrow Brad Pitt, because that was the
power couple.
The power couple of that era.
Oh man, you know what? I'm really glad Brad Pitt sidestepped that landmine.
Right.
Because if anyone's crazy enough to make a candle out of the scent of their vagina, is kind of crazy, right?
That's yeah.
But why all this is really going?
That took a weird twist.
I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow. Did you watch her show Goop?
No.
It is batshit crazy. When you have time, when you're like, I have a spare hour, let's watch this Goop show. I don't know if Netflix still has it because it got such bad reviews just because of how crazy the whole thing was.
Okay, no, I will find it now.
And it is like her foundation. Like she made a candle that smelled like her vagina.
Okay,
and it was like $100. But while all this is happening, Denise is not really having a fun time at this party. She only went because of Preston, but then Preston is like, no, I'm on this mission to get with Amanda. And so she is pretty much left alone for a good chunk of this movie. We have Seth Green, who is, I don't know how to say this, culture appropriating himself into some veg. He's like, yo, what's, like, if it was in today's day, he's like, yo, what's up, shawty, what's good? Like,
right, yeah, because he's like, yeah, I narrowed it down to like the 10 hotties that are gonna have to fight over Madong, basically. And then as he's tried,
he's constantly rejected, right?
Yeah, and he has great lines like the girl the girl walks by and he's like, why you gotta waste my flavor?
No. He says that to his friends because he was trying to like the slang is front on them. He was like, oh, I got two hoes fighting over who's gonna get the D, and they're like, what two hoes? He's like, why you waste my flavor, man? Even one girl says like makes fun of him because they're playing spin the bottle, and then he has some Cheetos stuck in his teeth, and they called him Chester the Cheetah. But he overhears a very vulnerable girl who's like, oh, I can't believe Jason would cheat on me. I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna sleep with the next guy who the next guy who talks to me.
Yup.
And we get, it's just, I hated this scene just because, you know what? At some point in your life, you've probably said the same thing. He's like, yo, what's up? Why you crying, baby girl? Not in that fashion, but that's pretty much the way Seth Green delivered that line, right?
Right, yeah.
And I was just, and you're like, ugh. And she's like, oh, how about we go to the pool house and you can comfort me there. But obviously Seth Green is a virgin.
Yes.
Because he's like, wait, hold on, give me 1 second. He was going to go to the bathroom to play with his sex kit.
Yes, because he had a backpack full of toys and candles and condoms and
that is insane.
and a book of the Kama Sutra.
Listen, if you don't do that,
right?
If it's the first time,
all I could think is like study that book at home alone in your bed at night and practice there, not in the bathroom during the party.
No, it is insane to have an entire kit.
That's yes.
You're looking like a sexual EMT with the first aid kit.
Definitely a little predator-ish.
All you need to ever bring is some condoms.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he gets stuck into the bathroom with Denise, who gets hit with a weed brownie in the face, who then gets licked in the face because the guy doesn't want to waste the weed.
Yes. And that guy is also somebody famous now.
Is he famous now?
I can totally picture his face, but I can't tell you what he was in. Oh, there was a weird, I don't know. Netflix has a series about a girl who's trying to be a country singer, and then she like moves in with a family to become their nanny as she's trying to become a country singer, and that's her ex-boyfriend in that. There's the most roundabout. I don't know his name. I don't know the name of that show.
But he's still working.
Yeah,
that's where.
Yes, and he's bigger now. Like if you saw his face, you'd be like, oh, that guy. He was also in this thing and that thing.
I mean, yeah, we see a lot of familiar faces. We have Melissa Joan Hart. We have Jason Segel.
Jason Segel and his watermelon that he's been trying to feed vodka
Amanda.
to for an entire year.
That watermelon is disintegrated.
It is, yeah.
But Seth Rogen and Denise get stuck in this bathroom. We learned that they were friends from childhood. But Seth Green wanted to fit in with the cooler kids, and it's another story that you've seen in high school, you grew up with, where one guy wants to be popular and the other girl isn't, or vice versa, and they get left behind. But
and that stuff happens. I remember in 5th grade, I had a friend who, I actually spent the night at his house. He had spent the night at my house. We were good friends, and then like we didn't have any classes or anything like early junior high, and then like he got into baseball and he got buff.
Oh.
And yeah, and then it was like once we got to high school, he was like, just like, yeah, hey, you're a nerd. You know, it's not that he was not that he ever bullied me or anything, but it was just like, you're
drift apart, right?
You're not part of my clique anymore.
My baseball crew.
Yeah,
I mean, you had the swim guys, right?
I had the swim guys,
So it's all good, you know.
and swim was awesome because it was like that was like the sport for the nerds.
Was it?
Yeah, we had like D&D players in there.
Oh man, you know, it was
Magic
unfortunate.
players and stuff. You know, it was like, yeah,
It was unfortunate you didn't have a Michael Phelps yet during that time. Because man, just imagine being a swimmer during the Michael Phelps era. Oh, all the girls wanted to get with swimmers. Oh, look at that swimmer's butt. I felt like I thought swimmers would be popular because then they're always like half naked.
Right, but it's like, I don't know. It was like you had like you have basketball, baseball,
It was like an elite.
football. Those are the ones like they make the announcements. Hey, you guys, root for our football team because they're playing the Chaparral High School or whatever. And then never swim was like never anything.
I think it was because swim maybe feels more like a fancy sport, like how golf is.
I mean, like I lettered it and stuff, but it still got treated like it was like swim club.
Oh, okay.
Not like a school recognized sport.
You know, if you're in Europe, you'd have been hot. You'd have been the hot swim captain or something like that.
That's true, yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, and then we also have William, who is trying to convince Mike to go behind the pool house because they were going to jump him and take very questionable photos of Mike and his friend, and they have made chloroform because it was the only way that they could overpower them.
Yes, and they made it in their chemistry class,
right? Where it is definitely fine to be like, let's make some chloroform.
Right, and you know, hey, back in the 80s, that was probably less frowned upon. Now
No, like in chemistry class, it's totally fine to say it.
Yeah,
right?
but even now, I feel like in the current time, your teacher would be like, you should not be making that chloroform.
Unless it's for scientific purposes.
Right, yeah, and then you're not allowed to take it home with you.
Oh, yeah. But no, Will or Bill, the smart kid, kind of discovers his fun side throughout this whole thing. You know, he gets a little drunk, he gets a little high.
Right, because he's like, hey, I've got this little chart that I printed off the internet, and it shows me like my cognitive ability compared to the amount of drinks. So I can drink and look cool, but not ever get drunk.
Right.
And then
the first beer, he's like drunk.
Yes, he could because he's also like 90 pounds.
But he totally kills it at this party. He sings Guns N' Roses' Paradise City, and at first they're like, "Oh man, what is he doing?" And then he gets the crowd riled up.
Right, because it's that like that weird thing of like everybody's too shy to make like a huge ass of themselves, but once you do. Everybody's like, that's the guy who sang the song, you know, or he's the one who jumped off the thing. And yeah,
I mean, yeah, he broke his arm, but man, that was awesome.
Right.
I mean, yeah, like your biggest accomplishments almost becomes like your moniker for high school.
Right.
Yeah?
It's almost like your biggest failures
make
you cool.
But it depends on how you handle that, right? You know, because you know, like you could shit your pants and be called like a skid mark or whatever like that. But if you don't let it bother you and you own it, it's like whatever.
Right.
They're like, man, we can't even make fun of him for it because he has a T-shirt called Skid Mark on it. You know, and so for him, you know, this was a great way for him to get his confidence up for college because later on in the movie, we see where they all end up, right?
Yep.
And then Mike's whole thing throughout this whole thing is he sees that after he breaks up with Amanda, his friends sort of leave him behind because they all have girlfriends. And he's almost awkward. Like, it's almost like his first party ever because he's just walking around.
You're right, because there's like... There's obviously, I mean, like if you got a girlfriend and then you go to parties, you're there as a team. Like you bounce off each other. You know, you got your friends, she's got her friends, whatever. But there's still that like almost like you got that person as your like safety net. You know, like I feel awkward right now, or something went weird, or I don't know what to do. Oh, there's my team. Boom. Okay, back in place.
Yeah, but because he's the perpetrator, right? Because he and Amanda is the victim,
right?
They don't want to look like the bad guy, so without knowing it, they isolate Mike to be by himself. And he is trying to fit somewhere into this party. He tries to hit on these two girls, but then the two girls are like, "Didn't you tell this guy we're skanks?"
Right, because it's also one of those things where like, hey, I'm the popular guy and every girl in the school wants me. But if I'm going to trash my girlfriend, end of the year just so I could be single and be, you know, a beefcake, then all the girls know that, and they're like, yeah. I wanted you because we thought you were cool, not
and a good boyfriend.
Yeah, not now that you're a douche.
Yeah, and then he gets a glimpse of himself, his future self. Right, we enter Jerry McConnell, aka Trent McNeely, who was a sexual icon in high school, but he learns that Trent McNeely hasn't had a very successful teen career in college because he tells him, I wish I never broke up with my girlfriend because all these college girls want older, smarter guys.
Right. Yeah, because there's a difference between being the big fish in small pond and then going to college, and then all of a sudden there's, what does he say? You get a 24-year-old guy who's pre-med, and all the freshman, junior girls are all like, oh.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then Trent McNeely goes to tell Mike, like, guys like us are a dime a dozen.
Yep.
So pretty much there's nothing special about you unless you make it pro, which is like still pretty low being a college athlete, right? Unless you're killing it.
Right, yeah.
And unfortunately for Trent McNeely, he was not killing it. And so Mike scrambles to try to find Amanda. He's like, I need to get back with her because maybe she'll keep me better.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But at this point, Preston has left the party because he finds Amanda and her cousin, which is a cousin by marriage. We have to clarify that.
Yeah.
But he's forcing himself on her, but Preston catches them kissing, so he leaves.
Right, because he just assumes that once again he's waited too long and lost his shot.
Right, and so he ends up trashing the letter, but then the letter somehow gets into this fruit bowl, which is, a very glaring, like it's a scary thing, right? This is how germs spread. and now
I didn't even think about that, but
like this letter was in trash. Now it's in this party mix bowl, which also justifies my fear of party mix bowls and dips.
Yes.
Like, when there's a party dip, I'm like, gross.
Yeah, I feel like unless you know all the fingers that are at that party, you probably aren't,
Oh, no, even then, I'm like, nope, no party dips for me. Or, like, if it's the first bowl of the night, I'll scoop mine out, and then I'll eat out of my own bowl.
Right.
But no, Amanda sees this letter, and it's like probably the most touching letter she's ever seen. It's probably the most heartfelt letter she's ever read. And so she goes on a journey to look for Preston, but that gets stopped by Mike, who's like, you should come back with me, because who else are you without me?
Yeah.
Which is like another issue, which is a whole different issue, right? But she tells Mike off in front of the whole party, and then everybody at the parties now is trying to hit on Amanda really hard, right?
Right. Yeah, because he's basically like, if you don't come back to me, no one's ever gonna want you.
And so everyone is very quick to prove that wrong.
Right. Because everybody who's had like crushes for the last 4 years is all like, oh, I want her. Now's my chance.
All right. But Preston, after getting advice from Dharma, from Dharma and Greg,
the angel stripper.
Yeah, the angel stripper, who's like, you gotta just shoot your shot, because if you don't, you're always gonna regret it. But if you do and you get turned down, well, at least you tried, right? And so he rushes over there. But again, his timing is the worst thing because everybody has been hitting on her really hard. And here's another obsession thing. He ties in the song Mandy with Amanda.
Yes,
man, you're reaching.
Everything's a sign.
Right. But no, when he's like, Amanda, I love you, which is like never the way you want to start off. Like she doesn't even know what you look like, but you're like, oh, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
So she tells him off, and then so he pretty much gives up. He's like, well, I tried. So he goes home. He wants to go ahead and start packing up for his workshop. Seth Green and Denise have sex in the bathroom after reminiscing over old times.
Right. That's a cute story too. Like,
Yeah.
It goes.
That's like another movie within itself.
Right. Yeah.
Right. We have Mike, who is now very vulnerable, and Bill, who is still trying to get him behind the pool house, but after seeing his vulnerability, is like, oh man, like you're like me.
Right. And Mike even apologizes. He's like, hey man, remember that time I tripped you and everybody in this whole school laughed at you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Because he's, this is the drunk apology.
Yeah. He's like, when did that happen? This morning. But it's an apology that he never would have expected, right?
Right, yeah.
Abuse victims, when they get an apology, no matter how minuscule, it's like, oh, it's like a treat.
Right.
But the party at this point gets broken up. Amanda leaves the party, and it gets broken up. Mike and Bill end up in jail, but Mike takes the fall for Bill and says that, like, oh yeah, I got him all drunk and made him do all these things.
Right.
Seth Green and Denise have sex, but then Denise, trying to do something about the awkwardness, insults his ego by saying, like, it'll be longer next time. It'll be better next time.
Yeah.
In my mind, Seth Green didn't hear the next time part because it was, oh, they're going to have sex again.
Right, exactly.
But Seth Green, being a fragile, in this movie, supposedly teenager, is very defensive, and they argue, but they get back together later again, right?
Yes.
Jennifer Love Hewitt or Amanda, played by Jennifer Love Hewitt, is clearing out her teenage bedroom, or just her bedroom of her teenage life.
Yeah.
She's tossing away old photos of her and Mike, of her and her friends, because her friends are kind of shitty anyway.
Right.
And everybody was kind of shitty to her. But we do learn after talking to her cousin that, she was like this awkward teenager in middle school, but that she goes to high school, and Mike is like this super cool guy, and she becomes the popular girl. And that sort of became her identity, being Mike's girlfriend.
Right, yeah.
And so by, after reading Preston's letter and then going, sorting out her emotions and all that, she realizes that, like, she needs to find who she wants to be.
Right. Yep.
Right. But she still wants to get Preston. So the next morning we find Denise and Preston hanging out together. Preston making fun of Denise for liking Seth Green because of, who his character is in this movie. Denise automatically regretting it because he's still having a hard time being real, being him.
Right.
We see Bill try to chat up with Mike again, but Mike like, no, shut up, nerd, go play on your computer. And then
because now he's back with his friends and he's sober, so he doesn't want to. He's now back cool guy. And
then so we get like sort of the classic ending screens for some characters. We see that Bill ends up going to Harvard, becoming the most popular guy there, creating a software company that nets him $40 million a year. We see Mike, who goes to college, drinks too much, becomes overweight, loses his football scholarship, and is now arguing with his boss at the car wash. We see Denise and Seth Green, where Seth Green is like, let's have sex in the bathroom. Denise breaks up with him, and then 10 minutes later, they find a bathroom to have sex in. And then we see Preston at the train station taking a train to Boston. Now, I don't know where they are. I'm assuming they're on the East Coast.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, they're in California. I was like, that's a long fucking train ride. Right.
It's East Coast houses. When they were kind of like drive through the neighborhood, that's what the houses.
Or like maybe Coast. Like somewhere like in Virginia.
Yeah.
Or like North Carolina. Well, no. Yeah, North Carolina. I don't know if they have accents there. But no, Amanda is there. She finds out. She goes to the house, misses him, goes to the train station, and they have like this very awkward like, well, thank you for the letter. You know, maybe she felt like, oh, I feel like you see me for who I am,
right?
Not Mike's girlfriend, and because he's revised it so many times that over the years, you know, he's looked at her that
right.
But Preston, you know, they share this huge kiss at the train station. Preston's like, I could just take a later train, so you know we can talk more because this is the first time we're ever really talking.
Right, exactly, yeah. Because even when he was like her
Desk
desk
buddy.
neighbor, yeah,
there's a force field around, and like she's
Right.
now Mike's girlfriend. Don't talk to her,
yes,
or else lest you feel Mike's wrath. You know, unfortunately, you know, he didn't have a Mr. Miyagi around to like build up his self-confidence and his self-defense skills, right? But we learned that, we learned Preston gets on the train 7 hours later, and Amanda writes him every day because this is the 90s, and no one has a cell phone because Preston in the movie has to use a payphone, which might confuse younger listeners. It's a phone that you had to put quarters in to make phone calls, and they're still together.
right.
Yeah. So I know you guys are going to ask how this is an obsession movie. Well, just look at the character Preston, who let his whole 4 years of school he didn't let it go by because him and Denise had dated a little bit.
Right.
We don't know what happened to that relationship, but probably because Denise was like, you're still in love with Amanda, so this is just a farce.
Yeah, or maybe it was even before that. Maybe it was like junior high before you.
Oh yeah, maybe it was junior high.
Before you even
met Amanda.
You told a girl she was your girlfriend, and then like you were girlfriend and boyfriend for a week, and then you told the next girl, and it didn't really. You just told them, and then like there was nothing.
Maybe you guys held hands.
Maybe, yeah. We sat at lunch together.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I think she did say something about them dating before him meeting Amanda. But you just look at the character Preston and how his obsession kind of consumed him and not let him see the other options of girls that were in school.
Right. Yeah, that's a whole 4 years that he went celibate, basically, because that's a little extreme. But like, yeah, basically didn't even look at other girls because he only had eyes for her. Yeah, because as Amanda is going on her search to look for Preston, she's like, "Oh, do you know Preston?" And like everybody is just like, "Oh, Preston's such an awesome dude," you know? Yeah.
One girl's like, "You wouldn't recognize a beautiful soul like Preston. That's why you're asking, even though he sat next to you all freshman year."
I like when they like asked this. She asked the stoner, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and Preston, he's the guy who always wears like the pants, and he's got like he wears lots of t-shirts." Yeah.
I would have been so happy if he's like, "Yeah, Preston, yeah, he always wears those long shirts underneath those button-up shirts." Oh, so cool. And I really miss his puka shell necklace phase.
Yes.
But Preston he's not a nerd because he seems like he's well liked by everybody there.
Yeah.
You know, Preston is probably the nice guy that was like, you know, and definitely a guy that's well liked by a lot of his peers is going to have girls that had crushes on him, right?
Right.
And he let those girls by the wayside.
Yeah. You
know, we do get one cool like little tidbit where Bill has become a sex icon by the end of his Paradise City song because girls just like take him into the makeout room.
Right.
And one girl gets locked out and is in tears.
Yeah.
Missing. And apparently there's a rumor that he has the longest schlong. And he's like, "I need both of you to hold it." But Colby, what was some of your favorite parts of this movie?
We joked about it a little bit before we started the podcast here, but definitely my favorite person is the hey, do you remember guy. He was so excited because there was two. There was like Melissa Joan Hart, who wanted to be the first person to ever get everybody in the senior class to sign her yearbook.
Yeah.
And so there was another obsession right there. Look at it, multiple obsessions in this movie. And then you had the do you remember guy. And it was like every person was like, "Oh, do you remember that time that we went on the bus trip, and then you threw up in your backpack?"
Oh yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, and but like at that in that scene, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Amanda's thought it was a cute story.
Yeah,
because it was an interesting story. It was something interesting that happened to him that he could later talk about, like in the future.
Right, but it's still, if you're the barfer, embarrassing as hell.
Yeah, it's especially to your crush.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like third or fourth date story. Not I'm trying to get you to know what my name is.
Oh yeah, that is what. Like he even says it to a man. He's like, "Do you remember that one time we danced together? I had the hugest freaking boner." But this movie is jam packed with, if you're above 25 and you're starting to reminisce about stuff like randomly, this movie is jam packed with people that you know.
Right. Yeah, I'm like I saw this when it very first came out, and I was already out of high school, but then watching it now, still there was like a whole different layer of movie story comprehension.
Yeah, like if you guys are like us, you like to maybe rewatch movies sometimes. Like rewatch something that you watched in high school, like some of your more formal, like those like younger years,
right?
That let you form an impression. Like watch like Breakfast Club again if you grew up during that time. You're like, wow, this is crazy. Or watch Revenge of the Nerds. You're like, oh, that's sexual assault.
That is yes.
Just imagine if that scene came out today.
Right. That would have that whole movie would have ended like in court.
Now, if you guys don't know what scene we're referring to in Revenge of the Nerds, there is a part where the guy who kind of looks like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids guy.
Yes.
And Jefferson from I Was Married with Children, he pretends to be him and then goes down on his girlfriend. And then instead of freaking out that the person that you supposedly hate in the movie,
right?
She's like, "Oh my God, you're so wonderful."
Right. It definitely gave you the impression that all you have to do is be a little bit good, and the girl's going to her no is going to turn to a yes. Even if you are the biggest nerd.
It is. Oh, man. It is insane.
Yeah. It is slightly inappropriate in this juncture of society.
Or even spreading her nudes around.
Right.
That was taken from a secret camera that was placed in their home.
Yeah, yes, in all the bathrooms.
Yeah. Oh man, times.
That's right. I forgot about that part.
How the times have changed. This one is less concerning, but there's still elements to that are questionable. But this movie is still at its core, it's still fine. Because if you take away the right things from it, like accepting that something has ended.
Yes.
Or mending relationships, just like how Denise and Seth Rogen, not Seth Rogen. Just imagine if Seth Rogen was in this movie instead of Seth Green. But I also I was talking to Colby about this before we started. But if this movie came out today, I think it would be much more interesting getting it from the perspective of Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Right.
Right. Because what did you think about her character in this movie?
It was good, but yeah, it would have definitely been a very different story getting it from her side, because then you get the breakup, because they had already broken up by the time they got to this party, but you get this like you said, it was like kind of like a coming of age.
Yeah.
because like she's now looking at her life as like, now I am single. I spent my entire 4 years in high school as part of a team or part of a couple, and now I am on my own. And
Yeah, because like the way that I saw her character is she was, and this happens as you're growing up. Your identity becomes tied to certain things. Right. Like we said, if you have like an awesome story or like even a story where you failed so bad, it becomes slightly a part of your identity, right?
Right. Yeah.
But for her to come from middle school and then for her to become like as a middle school like sort of nobody, which I have to like think like if you're a nobody in your middle school, that school must be so like I would have been hanging out with the janitor if I went to that middle school. Because if everyone is way more prettier than you, I was just like, man, that's a rough crowd.
But it might have been like they didn't really say, but it may have been like that blossoming.
Oh,
like
man,
sometimes
maybe.
you like.
Maybe she had like braces, like
Yeah,
headgear.
yeah, and then all of a sudden, like over that summer, you grow boobs. You know,
Or for guys, you get like 6 inch taller.
right? Yep.
But like I thought it would have been much more interesting from her perspective if we were to do like a version of that movie today, because throughout her whole high school career, she was Mike's girlfriend. She hung out with Mike's friends' girlfriends that became her friends.
Right.
And then now that and I'm pretty sure there would have been a scene where she's like, "Do I even have to go to this party?" Because
yeah. Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure you'll look back on it. Are those friends even my friends, or are they my ex-boyfriend's friends' girlfriends?
Yeah.
Which is hard. So I think that would be a much better movie today.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if they showed like interaction between her and Preston, like maybe Preston always like helped her with homework. Right. At least knew who he was.
Yeah. It made it like even more awkward when she's just like, "Hey, do you guys know who Preston is?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, the guy." And she's like,
right.
Oh, and then the one like crazy girl was like, "Yeah, he sat next to you in homeroom
for your whole freshman year.
He's not one of your sheep."
Yeah, she's like, Preston, of course you wouldn't recognize a beautiful soul like him.
Yeah.
He only sat next to you your whole freshman year. Everyone here is sheep. She is bringing a high intensity to this table right now. But yeah, so yeah, I think it would be, especially it would be a good movie for just teenage girls.
Yeah.
There was like, and then like, so I think that's what. That's how I kind of like to look at The Edge of 17 as. It's like it's a coming of age for girls.
Yep, right.
But like this could be another good one in just a different aspect, because from her in Edge of 17 she was not the popular girl, but it would be nice to see a movie about a popular girl who doesn't know who she is.
Right? Yeah.
Oh man, so we're coming up to our hour, guys. If this is the first time you guys are joining us, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the episode. But yeah, this is the first time you're joining us. We have our rating system in 4 sections. We have Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and Ultimate Box Collection, where you could probably add this movie, American Pie, which is a much more like raunchier.
Yeah.
And let's go a little bit darker. Cruel Intentions.
Okay. Yeah.
As a that'll be the collector, not the collector. Sorry, I've been doing too much magic content. That'd be the Ultimate Box Collection.
Yeah, this has definitely got rewatch value. I very, very much enjoyed watching this again. The only weird thing was like, I was like, Jennifer Love Hewitt, why did I think she was so hot? Because maybe I'm just old and my brain like stops me from thinking that 18-year-olds are hot. I don't know. But I'm like, she was just okay. I'm like, good looking, but not obsessive over where when this came out, I bet there was lots of guys who were like, "Yes, I am obsessed with her.
Oh,
I have
I
posters
was.
on my wall. I have, yeah." But yeah, no, I definitely got some rewatch value. I'd love, people who haven't seen this, like the next generation, definitely have them come over and like force them to watch it.
Oh yeah, you should have your daughter watch this.
I was totally thinking that. I would like she would probably really enjoy it.
Right. So you're probably like, I mean, really, there's nothing like a Blu-ray would bring to the table.
Right, definitely DVD over stream, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd go to Blu-ray.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. And you're not going to get anything extra for the Blu-ray, but I will have to rebut your Jennifer Love Hewitt slander, good sir. Well, no, she was just like my crush growing up. She wasn't overly hot. Like, she's not hot. To me, she wasn't hot in the ways of like how you would normally think it. She had more of the girl next door look.
Okay,
And,
right.
and that's a different type of hot. That's what some guys like. Some guys like librarians. Me, I've never had a hot neighbor.
Right.
And and I think in this movie, she didn't really do too much makeup or anything like that. She was just, she had her iconic blue dress.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that is so beautiful. I love blue now. My favorite look of her though in this movie is when she gets to the train station.
Oh, and she's kind of almost frumpy.
Yeah, she's frumpy, and then she has her hair up. Like man, there's just gets
That was
me
like
going.
almost like messy bun before. That was
Right.
cool.
All right, yeah. Before the bedhead look was cool.
Yep.
And then me, I put myself at the age that I saw her. That's why I'm like, yeah, she's still hot. That's how I'm gonna look at those. He was like, yeah, she's still hot, because yeah, she was just a part of like, for me growing up, she was like, oh, this is what teenagers are, and I was like, now that I watch it, oh, this movie is filled with people like that are in their mid-20s. How do you feel now that like it seems more now that they actually get people closer to that age to play these roles?
I guess maybe they do, maybe they don't. I always remember like the big one was like when like what Ralph Macchio from Karate Kid, and they were supposed to be playing like mid high school, and he was like 30.
Yeah, but then Ralph Macchio also, he had such a wiry body,
Right.
and he had such a pretty young looking face during that time that you buy. I could kind of buy it.
Right. Oh no, like I felt like the people in this played their age correctly.
Yeah.
Like it was close. I mean, Seth was he was probably one of the older people in the in the crew, but he always acts like he's 15. So it like
I still think he acts like that.
I know he's got like a beard and gray hair, and I'm still like 15.
All right, guys. That's the end of the podcast. Go ahead and check out our show notes. We have our Amazon affiliate links down there. If you guys want to help support the show, that always helps us out. Whatever you guys shop on there, you guys are going to shop on Amazon anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly give us some likes, some shares. Tell your friends about us. If you got any comments, leave them. Any suggestions on things you want us to hear us review? Anything that we do bad, blast us. If we make mistakes, tell us we're dorks.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My name is Barry.
And this is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on her Music for Podcast 3 album, and her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.